You are listening to the Daily Gospel Reflections with Sister Cloth. This podcast is brought to you by the Paulines Multimedia. It is our mission to bring the Word of God to all peoples through sounds and images, voices, and music. Come and join us as we share with you a thought a day.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to St. Mark, chapter 8, verses 1 to 10. In those days, when there again was a great crowd without anything to eat, Jesus summoned the disciples and said, "My heart is moved with pity for the crowd, because they have been with me now for 3 days and have nothing to eat. If I send them away hungry to their homes, they will collapse on the way, and some of them have come a great distance." His disciples answered him, "Where can anyone get enough bread to satisfy them here in this deserted place?" Still he asked them, "How many loaves do you have?" They replied, 7. He ordered the crowd to sit down on the ground. Then, taking the 7 loaves, he gave thanks, broke them, and gave them to his disciples to distribute. And they distributed them to the crowd. They also had a few fish. He said the blessing over them and ordered them distributed also. They ate and were satisfied. They picked up the fragments left over, 7 baskets. There were about 4,000 people. He dismissed the crowd and got into the boat with his disciples and came to the region of Dalmanutha. It feels great to be with you again today. I hope that you're all doing good. In today's reading, Jesus told his disciples, "I have compassion for the crowd because they have been with me now for 3 days and have nothing to eat." I imagine Jesus deeply moved within as he saw a great crowd without anything to eat. And what is the composition of the group? There were Jews, but the majority of them were Gentiles who were idol worshippers and pagans. And yet, Jesus had compassion for them without any distinction. He was deeply moved because they were there to listen to him with a great deal of attention, not only for a few minutes, but, as the Gospel says, for 3 days now. And Jesus knew they had nothing to eat. Here I see Jesus full of compassion for everyone, regardless of who they are. He's not discriminating. What touched the heart of Jesus in today's gospel was those people's patient endurance and eagerness to learn something from him, even if their bellies were empty. He was touched because they did not expect a miracle, but saw how blessed they were because they witnessed one. One writer says, maybe our past, no matter how bad it was, does not define our future, but Jesus' compassion does. His compassion is for people with sin because his love is too great to be limited to what we deserve. Isn't that very consoling? Of course, it doesn't mean that Jesus would extend his compassion to people who deliberately reject him, don't believe in him, or are half-hearted in their relationship with him. Remember what we have said earlier? Our faith turns on the power of God's compassionate love. Something crossed my mind just now, a thought that filled me with guilt. In my hour of adoration or visit to the Blessed Sacrament, could I remain right there to listen to Jesus? How many times did I check my cell phone when I heard notification alerts? Was the message more urgent than attending to Jesus? Did I quickly turn away from Him when something caught my eye or ear? Oh my Jesus, please forgive me.
Be with us again tomorrow as we share with you a thought a day. Meanwhile, you can follow us and listen to other Apple and Google podcasts on Spotify, produced by Paulines Multimedia. Have a good day.